see, there's like only a couple really good free agents anyway.
Right.
And then do the trades. And we don't have to do every single trade. Like, we can highlight every trade if you want, but like talk in depth about the big trades.
Yeah, there are a few trades that were just kind of like
whatever.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, open up the stream. Okay, let's see. All right, nobody so far. Hopefully, I won't have robot voice.
Robot
tonight.
mic.
Yeah.
Here, talk, and I'll listen.
Allen Robinson.
No, you still have it.
Dang it.
I was like, hopefully. Kevin's here.
I don't know. We'll just have to, because when you watch it on YouTube, it's not bad.
It's not as bad. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, again, I'll apologize to everyone for it, but you know, it's not much we can do about it. Just waiting for. Oh, we got 5 in here, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hey guys, welcome to the free agency recap and mock draft. Kyle, the robot, is Sam. So
Here to stay.
Yeah. So we're going to start out going over who got who in free agency. And we're going to start off with Allen Robinson going to the 49ers. This is a good get for Chris.
Yeah, I'll say I think Chris probably won free agency. I don't know how you feel, but getting Robinson is a big deal. You know, that's another weapon for Huntley, and then also getting T.Y. Hilton on a super discount.
Right, super cheap.
He's really, his salary is only $550K and just over $8 million in bonus. Really smart there. That's why Chris was the best GM in Madden 20, because he would just make moves like these. And so his offense is going to be a lot better. Plus, he has a number 5 pick, which he can kind of go in a lot of different directions. We'll talk about that later. But I have Chris down as my winner in free agency.
I think he definitely did a lot to help his team. He still needs a quarterback, unless he's gonna roll out Jimmy G. But getting Robinson and Ty really boosts that wide receiver core. And then Pode got Aaron Jones, so he moves on from Le'Veon Bell, who stays in division and goes to Cody. What are you doing, Cody?
Yeah, this one, Aaron Jones, I was surprised that there wasn't a bidding war on him, because I thought before Will rolled out A.J. Dillon. Oh, by the way, congrats on Will for winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, congrats, Will.
Aaron Jones is actually playing pretty well. I was expecting more teams that needed a running back would probably bid for Jones, because 5 years, 5 years, $40 million total. That's not terrible, especially for a guy that's going to be 90 overall or better for the life of that contract.
For most of that contract, yeah.
And then, of course, Le'Veon going to the Pats. This was kind of weird for me too, because Geis is coming back this year, so I thought it would just be Wyrick
Geis and Wyrick
backup. Yeah, so this I don't know, unless Cody's thinking about just trying to deal Geis and having Bell as the backup. But if I was Cody, I would have probably put that money more toward my receiving core. But
which he did. But he also can't really trade guys because Geis has a huge penalty because Cody gave him fully guaranteed money.
Yep, that's
So
true. You're right.
he can't really do that. Avery Williamson going to Carolina. That's
another
pretty
steal.
good pickup. Yeah, a pretty good pickup there for Kevin.
Yeah, and we'll get to
Getting
Kevin in the trades portion, who's had
yeah,
an incredible 48 hours.
right.
And
And
over,
cover
you got Snacks Harrison. I was a little surprised because I didn't know because
Oh yeah,
he's old.
he's
He's older.
old. I just needed a fill in for the year,
Okay.
and so I just went out and Cody had a bid on him, so it was kind of more about keeping him away from Cody than
Gotcha. That makes sense.
me needing him. But yeah, I signed Snacks. Bengals re-signed Melvin Ingram after trading for him, so
That's probably good.
he was good for them. Bears, that was just a re-sign because he couldn't get it done with J.C. Jackson. Earl Thomas also going to Carolina, so looks like Kevin's going all in this season with his trades too.
Yeah, that's another good signing by Kevin. In addition with all his trades, the only thing I was worried about with Kevin with all the offensive trades he made today and yesterday, just how the defense was looking, just because his defense is a little young. But having Earl Thomas is definitely going to be awesome. Cody did address the
Wide receiver
with Will Fuller. I don't love Will Fuller, but he's going to be an upgrade. He's going to be an upgrade for whatever Cody had, because right now Cody's wide receiver one wasn't N'Keal Harry. So
yeah, and he also signed Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
So he got two guys who are basically the same player, fast.
Yeah.
Always hurt. So
Sheldon Rankins going to the Texans. This one hurt me because Sheldon played for New Orleans last season and actually had a really nice year. I'm currently in salary cap hell, so I just couldn't afford to sign anybody. But this is a really nice signing by Houston here.
So one thing with this is, I think this is pretty anti everything else that Texans did in the last 24 hours.
Yep, I agree.
So, you could say that me signing Snacks is like anti what I've been doing, but I didn't make any trades today to like make my team worse going forward, like Texans did trading Deshaun, and so
yeah,
just an odd move.
Yeah, and like we said, we'll get to all that in the trading column. But yeah, I was just really kind of flabbergasted by the trade in general.
Alex Mack is supposed to be getting released whenever Rebel gets around. He was on AP and he signed a few guys, so Alex Mack will be going back into the free agency. So
I actually kind of like that signing, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I like both the signings all three of the signings he got, because he got Alex Mack, Jared Cook, and Clinton Dix. Those are all pretty good signings, but they're gonna have to go back into the pot, and he can still try to sign him again.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Gerald McCoy going to the Broncos. That one's a little odd too, considering
his age.
Yeah, his age and where that team is going. I know their Serrano's a lock to take Justin Fields, so there'll be a new guy in Denver. And honestly, I'm a little surprised no one has traded for Drew Lock. He put up numbers last year.
Pretty sure Drew Lock did get traded yesterday.
Oh, did he? Okay, well, we'll get to that. I didn't see that.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure he went for maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm thinking of some. No, yeah, he went for a future second to the Colts.
Oh, so I like that. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so Jags signed Anthony Harris. I don't understand. I don't understand it,
I don't
but it's
either.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's also
But,
a good amount of money to give a 29-year-old who's this year is probably
and
going to be his best season, especially on a Jags. Unless, Blair's thinking he's going to be in the run for the division next year, which,
which which is possible with the way that division played out this season. It's
sure,
definitely
yeah,
not outside of the realm of possibilities. So,
absolutely.
um,
D Ford going to Cleveland, Cleveland made a lot of moves today as well.
yeah,
And that's,
uh,
it's whatever. It's not a terrible signing. They needed depth at that position anyway, so it's not terrible. It's 2 years, basically 21 million. So I don't hate
yeah.
it.
This is an odd one because he had Tyler Higbee and then traded him because of things that happened a few years ago with Tyler Higbee being accused of saying some racist things. And so he immediately put him on the block, only to sign a 36-year-old Greg Olsen to a 2-year, $16 million deal. But I think that Corb definitely thinks he's in it for the Super Bowl this year. So,
So I'll say this: I've had a few issues with Corb's moves over the last 24 hours. This is actually not one of them. I actually like this signing because, I mean, we had Olsen as a second team
for sure.
APY tight
Oh,
end. And I mean, can he do it again in a different offense
right.
without Russell Wilson? Maybe. I mean, but even if he's not number two, if he's like, a top 10 tight end, if it
Right.
was
At
me,
8.
I would have just kept Higbee. But,
Right.
I kind of understand it. So I'm not going to bash
For
that
sure.
move. K1 Short going to the Ravens, that
Good move.
makes really
It's a
all
good
the sense
move.
in the world. It's honestly a
Yep.
very like in real life Ravens signing. So,
Right.
and it's only,
And it
1 year, 10 million. Who cares about these 1 year deals? In terms of those, I don't really care about the money because it's just 1 year.
and it makes sense with you're gonna play Cody probably in the playoffs. The
Yep.
more bulk up front you can have to slow down that rushing attack, the better. Uh, the rich get richer in Cody's secondary with Nikhil Roby Coleman going to be the third corner.
Yeah, this
Uh,
one, does Cody have I know he traded some picks today, but I mean, this corner class in this draft is really deep. I feel like he could have easily just gotten his third corner from there, and he wouldn't be an 82, but he could, at least be like mid 70s. So this one was, I mean, I get you want to try to, if you have the two best corners in football, and you get another 82, that just makes your defense better. But I don't know. I feel like again he could have spent that money elsewhere, but Cody did get to the
for sure.
Super Bowl last year. He
Yeah.
obviously knows more than me. It's just a personal opinion.
Yeah. So Trey Burton going to the Colts. Um, this is a good move. It's get either Drew Lock or Jacob Eason more targets.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
all this is about.
So
Um,
this Ryan Kerrigan
this is
to Will on a 1 year, $4.37 million deal. Uh, like this is the kind of this shouldn't happen. If I'm being perfectly honest, like someone else should have come in and like bid a little higher because like Ryan Kerrigan is actually good. Like I know he's
right.
33, but like he's still going to be pretty good this year, and he's going to a defense that you could argue was the best defense in the NFL last year, especially
Yep.
especially with Rashawn Gary and Kenny Clark rushing the passer, and now you add Ryan Kerrigan to the mix.
I mean, I'll just take a look at Will's front seven real quick, but I'm pretty sure it's without a doubt the best front seven in our league right now. With he's got now Ryan Kerrigan. That guy doesn't matter because he can play Dean Lowry over there.
Right.
Kenny Clark, Zadarius Smith, some bad kids at middle linebacker. But then Rashawn Gary, he's got 4 superstars in that front 7. He doesn't have much to worry about. As far as,
Yeah.
defenders.
Yeah, I would agree. So I like this move as well. Matt Paredes to the Bengals. This is a really nice move. Poor Joe Burrow was running for his life last year, and Cirillo really needed to shore up that offensive line, and getting Paredes on a $4.5 million deal, like that's a great move.
Yeah. Fluker to Seattle. This is a result of retirements in Seattle. They had both Dwayne Brown and Mike Upati both retired, so this is a good move for him.
Yeah, sorry, Russ. That's tough. Because I was wondering, because I was looking at it, I was like, why is he spending this much on O-line when he had multiple all-pro guys? And I looked, I was like, oh, these guys retired. That's why. Okay, so it makes sense.
Bud Dupree to the Colts, another just solid move. He's got the cap space. Might as well go get another guy to
absolutely
help shore up that defense.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think
Prater, whatever.
None of these like under 70 guys. Like, good for you, Nathan, getting him. Pouncey to LA is fine. Lindsley, that's another good move. Shore up that offensive line. Lee made a lot of moves. And so did Russ to shore up that team. So
a lot of short
we can
deals too, which is
right,
which is good.
Which is so the trades today and yesterday were something.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we got started. Like, I don't even know how far back you want to go.
I think it's got to be the last 2 days, basically. Maybe even, 2, because yesterday was re-signed. So, it's, just this first one, Tyler Lockett to the Steelers, and getting David DeCastro back and Eric Ebron. He lost Greg Olsen and he lost 2 guys, so he can move David around to whatever position he needs him to on the line. That's a really solid move for both teams. I think it works for both guys.
Yeah,
I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm still trying to find it in the Slack, because there's just been so many trades the past couple of days. I know this is just it's great podcast.
I think
trying to find
it was way earlier in the day. It was the Seahawks second 56, Tyler Lockett, and then to the Steelers for Eric Ebron and David DeCastro.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Russ wanted to give up Lockett, but I kind of get it. I don't hate it. Like, I didn't really hate a bunch of these trades. They're like, okay, like, I get why you would do this. Now, whether or not I would do it is a little bit of a different story. But
right,
like, I get it. Like, I get why you would want to do this.
Yeah, and then we have the Panthers trading a 3rd-round pick and Troy Pride to the Jets for C.J. Mosley, which this was a trade that Pode had to make this trade. This wasn't one where we approved it because it was a good move. Pode had to make the trade. He needed to be able to sign guys, and he wasn't going. He wasn't going to be able to fill out a 53-man roster with C.J. Mosley on the roster. So
I pointed out that he could. I mean, he obviously could have gotten more from Mosley, but at the end of the day, I agree. He was kind of a little bit handcuffed here to do something.
Some of his moves that he made going all for it last season came back to bite him a little bit, but that happens. you know. Um, the Cardinals trade a 5th-round pick and Lamont Gaillard to the Steelers for Steven Nelson. Roy just trying to get better in the secondary, which he didn't need to, but it's a smart move.
Yep, agreed.
Panthers trading Greg Little and a 7th-round pick for Marcus Pouncey to the Steelers from the Steelers. That's not bad at all.
No, it's not. And it's good for Kevin with all the other moves that he made. The last thing you want to do is forget about your offensive line when you're bringing in so many big names.
This was the most contentious trade of the day, I think. Well, maybe the second most contentious trade of the day. The Pats send 2022 first-round picks, a second-round pick this year to the Texans for Deshaun Watson. Good move by Cody.
Yep.
A great move by Cody to go get the quarterback who he can now pay and not have to worry about QB for most of this Madden.
So this is where Cody is really an arm and a leg above most of the other GMs in this league, is that I didn't even see Watson available on the trade block.
No.
So I know he's honest to everybody. Like, he'll just ask guys, hey, is Deshaun Watson available? I would like to try to trade for him. So he really does his research, and even though I don't like this trade for the Browns, or excuse me, for the Texans. I really don't. Though I don't really know how good those picks are going to be, and I would rather just have Deshaun Watson.
At this point, my thinking on the trade is, if you aren't getting a first rounder this year, then you're losing this trade no matter what.
Agreed.
But to Cody's defense, what's the difference between the 36th and the 31st pick? Because that's the first he could send.
Yep.
So I get it. If Texans was convinced after talking to Cody that he wanted to trade Deshaun Watson, he should have put him on the block, because there would have been somebody with a first rounder this year. But that Bears first rounder next year could be good. Cody's isn't going to be. Let's not try to fool ourselves.
No, that might
and hope
that
Cody falls.
That's probably going to be like an early second more so than a first.
Pencil it in between 26 and 32 would be my guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Panthers traded next year's first, this year's third and first to the Browns for Baker Mayfield. Kevin's got a decent team, so why not build around what he's got?
Yep.
And Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback than he probably was going to get after trading number 3.
Yeah, I like it. I think Baker is actually a little undervalued in this year's Madden. I think he's pretty good, whereas last year's Madden, he was okay, but not great. So I like it. I think
it's with this trade at all in my mind.
And especially with the Browns also trading Odell Beckham to the Rams, this is a move that it definitely makes sense for him trying to rebuild. He's, I guess, more so rebuilding for next year's draft more than anything, which is fine. I mean, the auto rookie drafts in Madden 21 are above and beyond Madden 20. So even if it is a late first, he can still get a guy that is a starter. Might not have depth, but he can definitely get somebody.
So another Browns trade. I guess the next two are Browns trades also. Browns trade a 3rd round pick to the Bengals for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean this, is replaces Baker. Is Daniel Jones the QB of the future for Cleveland? No, absolutely not.
Probably not.
Unless he just goes off, then
Right.
you might keep him. But I would expect him just to be the starter for this year.
And then the trade that I know you dislike the most, Browns trade Odell Beckham to the Los Angeles Rams for a first-round pick. They also, number 21 this year, they also give up a fifth-round pick this year, which, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
This is probably the only one of two trades that I just don't like at all. I said it in the Slack that I just think Odell is worth more than the 21st pick in this draft and a fifth rounder. Just because Odell is still young, I think he's 93 overall superstar. I think he's still one of the few receivers that actually matter right now. And again, if you put OBJ on the block right now, I feel like you can get him a lot more. I'll say this: if Will does actually trade Devontae Adams, I think he's going to get something better. He's going to get a better trade package than what Cleveland got for OBJ.
Yeah, for sure. Going to the Panthers' next trade, they are on a Rams trade also. Panthers are give up Jalen Hurts, a fourth and a sixth next year for Tyler Higbee. Good move, Kevin. That's a good move. You weren't going to play Jalen Hurts with going out for Baker, and you get a really good tight end to add to your already really, really good receiving core. So Kevin's offense is going to be scary next season.
Yeah. You trade for Breeze, and I get that if you think you can win a Super Bowl. But then you trade multiple picks.
No, he got multiple picks.
Oh, he got. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, but
he got a sixth and a fourth with Hurts for Higbee.
Yeah.
I guess.
So it's you either trade Higbee, get 2 extra picks and Hurts, and then sign Olsen.
Right. I'd rather have Hurts. I'd rather have Higbee. Honestly,
me too. I would rather just keep Higbee. Those picks aren't going to be really, especially because they're future picks, so they're definitely not going to be worth anything.
Well, and I guess if you want to package those picks up and make a move with that, that's fine, but
sure.
I still would rather have Higbee, but I get it. So to yesterday's much debated trade, we have the Panthers trading a first rounder this year, the number 3 overall pick, and getting I don't have the whole trade. What was the whole trade on here? Because this doesn't look right.
So
do you have that whole? I'm sure you have that whole trade.
So shout out to Kevin. Me and Kevin, we had 6 different iterations of this trade before it actually went through. But so the whole trade is Kevin gets Michael Thomas, Eric McCoy, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I get Trey Boston, Roby Anderson, and the number 3 pick. And I think there might be other draft picks involved. I can't, to be honest with you, can't really remember.
It went through so many iterations yesterday. It's a good trade for. It's a good trade, I guess, for you too, but for Kevin definitely. But it's a good trade for you because you can get that quarterback of the future, which you desperately need.
Yep. So this is, I'll just be honest, this was Trevor Lawrence insurance, like just in case Vince doesn't want to trade 1.1. I know Serrano doesn't want to trade 1.2 because I've tried multiple times and he's told me no. So this was just worst case scenario. Like if I can't get the first two, I'll just draft Trey Lance, and Trey Lance is fine. We'll make it work and we'll go from there.
For sure. So, yeah, I don't mind this move.
And Michael Thomas is 28. By the time my team is going to hopefully be good, he's going to be in like 31, 32. So
right.
If I was going to trade Thomas, I knew it would probably have to be in the offseason. And I got 1.3, which I thought was better than anything else I could have gotten.
For sure. So, we'll go to another one of your moves. You traded the Cardinals Cesar Ruiz for 114 and 3, or well, I guess those are 2022 picks. So you just added an extra first and third next year to your already growing list of 2022 picks.
Yep. That was really it. Really just trying to get, Ruiz was good, but my team is not going to be good next year anyway. We're going to be super young. So just trying to stockpile picks at this point.
Jets traded a first and a second next year for Orlando Brown of the Ravens. I don't understand it myself for the Ravens. From the Ravens' point of view, I'd much rather have Orlando Brown Jr. than those 2022 picks.
Yeah,
but
I agree. The only thing I can think of is Lamar's payday is coming down the road, and I know Orlando Brown was going to get paid this upcoming season, so I could see it being try to pay one less person and maybe draft his replacement in the 2022 draft.
We got another trade from you. We've got Marshawn Lattimore to the Steelers for a first and a third this year. That's a really good for both of you guys. Steelers much improved in the secondary now with Marshawn. And Marshawn's still young.
Yep.
And you get more picks to maneuver with. So.
Yep.
And then the Steelers also traded a second rounder for Aaron Rodgers.
This
fine.
If
fine, I guess.
I'll say this, if Kevin didn't make a whole bunch of trades, like I would say the Steelers probably won the offseason. I really love everything that they've done. You now have Aaron Rodgers, who surged at the end of last season, and you also add Tyler Lockett.
Saint Sam, you fuck from Blair. Can I get confirmation on what that's about, Blair? I really want to know what that's about.
Ouch.
I was going to look up because I don't know the new Steeler. It's Moss 420. He's come in and done a lot of really good things with this Steelers team. So good job, man.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Pode put me in Panthers trade. Thank you. That's what it was. I also sent 1.30 to Kevin. So the whole trade is Thomas, McCoy, Johnson, 1.30 for 1.3, Anderson, and Trey Boston. Thank you, Pode.
Okay. Thanks, Pode. So then we have the Jets and the Cardinals making a trade here. Preston Smith, outside linebacker, to the Cardinals. For a second rounder next year. Roy is, like I've said many times, Roy is right in the middle of a Super Bowl window, so any move he makes is to win. Oh, yeah, here's the rest of the trade. The Boston and the 30 are way down here. You had to split it.
Yeah, we had to split it up.
And the Packers traded Robert Woods to the Jets for a third rounder. Good move for both of them.
This was just kind of weird to me because since Will traded for Robert Woods, I mean, I get it. Like, you don't want to re-sign him because I'm sure he was asking for more money than he was worth. But I don't know. I guess
he wasn't even in a contract year this year. But I think it was just more. He's got Will also has Devontae Parker, who's younger, and Preston Williams, who's very young and a star dev. So I get it. This gets them on the field. He got his Super Bowl. He can now, even if he doesn't win one this year, he can dev those guys up and have a chance next year. And since I have all of Will's picks, he doesn't have a chance to make picks this season.
Blair's mad because if I don't trade up, I'm taking Trey Lance third, and that's who he wants. Oh, is that why he's trying to? Oh, okay. I got you, Blair.
Yeah, I just saw that trade in the trade committee. I didn't see it earlier. The Colts trade for Drew Lock. Good move for both these guys.
That's
Serrano's gonna take. He's gonna take Justin Fields, so Drew Lock isn't. And like the only other move he could have made there is he could have stayed put with Drew Lock and drafted Sewell, I guess.
Yeah,
and
or he could have traded down. But I like the move of just taking Fields and getting whatever you can for.
Lock.
Yeah,
I agree.
Lock, yeah.
Jets trade a second rounder next year and Sam Darnold to the Cowboys for Dak Prescott. Yeah. I think we kind of predicted Prescott was definitely not going to be a Cowboy the other day. Wasn't going to play Sam. He played him a couple times, and he was really bad. So, good move for both of them.
Yep, I agree. I like this move for I guess for Poe more so.
Yeah, definitely. He gets a definite upgrade at quarterback, even compared to Drew Brees, just because. Dak Prescott is that much, like a 23 years younger than Drew Brees. What is Drew Brees now? 58?
At least.
60? Yeah. He's out there on the hover round. So, and then we've got the Rams trading for, maybe I just didn't remember this trade. It's the Brees trade, but it also included Christopher Herndon for a third and a sixth rounder next year. I don't.
So Cord now has Herndon and Olsen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more about Brees, I guess. But even Brees is at best a 1 year, maybe 2 years if for some reason he doesn't retire.
Yeah, if you get 2 years out of Brees, that's a win for Jay Cord.
So, Steelers and Rams trade Deontay Johnson and a fourth rounder to the Rams, and the Steelers get Samson Ebukam, who's a great player. So, good move for both these guys. And then we come to the last trade of the offseason, the most important trade of the offseason.
Wow,
Jordan Howard for a 6th-round pick. Jordan Howard for a 6th-round pick. Now, I could spend days telling you why this is the best trade ever made. No, it's whatever. I was going to cut Jordan Howard regardless, so I wasn't going to pay $5 million to a running back who wasn't going to see the field. That's 100% about what it was. And Roy was like,
if I didn't have negative $28 million in cap, I would have probably offered you more than that for Howard. But
yeah, I mean, Roy hit me up first. Kevin would have given me a future 6th. I was like, I'll take the 6th this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, smart move by you for sure.
So, let's get into what I think everybody's been waiting for. So we have 4 mock drafts we have 4 people's mock drafts. We have Sam's, we have mine, we have Pode's, and we have J-Corb. So shout out to Pode and J-Corb for
you guys are awesome.
Submitting drafts.
So what I thought we could do is, instead of going through individual ones, we'll just go pick by pick. So guess what? Picks 1 and 2 are the exact same. We have the Lions taking Lawrence, and we have the Broncos taking Justin Fields.
Yep. 100% the way that's going to go down tomorrow when the slug starts, I think.
Yep.
I don't think there's much debate about it. Number 3 is where we get a dissenting opinion, because I don't think that this is going to happen. I mean, I know for a fact that this isn't going to happen. You just said it.
Yep.
So Sam and I both say that you are. Yeah, Sam, Pode, and I all say that you are going to take Trey Lance. Corb thinks you are going to take Jamar Chase.
Yep. And what's
Any
important
truth
here
to
remind people is that I run the Saints.
Yeah. So the Saints will not be taking Jamar Chase at number 3. There is a 0% chance that the Saints take Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So the Bears, for now, the Bears are picking here. I have them taking Jamar Chase here.
As does Pode, and I do too.
Yeah.
This is where Corb thinks Trey Lance goes, which, if for some reason you didn't have 3, if it went somewhere, it's possible that Trey Lance could fall here.
Yeah,
but
I would be really surprised if the top 3 isn't Trevor, Justin, Trey Lance.
Right.
Unless
me as well.
Because for me, if you might as well go get 4 from the Bears I know you put 4 on the block. So if you want somebody other than a QB, I feel like you could go get 4, because getting 1, 2, or 3 is going to be really expensive.
Yeah, and there's only a few teams who I think that if they would have gotten 1 would have been Jamar Chase. It would have myself, maybe,
right.
Maybe a few other teams, but no, it's going to be 1, 2, and 3 is going to be the 3 quarterbacks, and then 4 I would assume is going to be Jamar Chase. That's so then the Niners at 5, you have them taking Penei Sewell. I also have them taking Penei Sewell. Corb and Pode have them taking Brock Purdy and Micah Parsons, respectively.
Yeah, I don't get the Purdy love here.
Yeah, no. Purdy, I have Purdy going later in the first round. I do have him as a first round pick, but I don't think that
this high, no
he's
way.
a top 5 pick.
Sewell, I think is
I
think Sewell is the obvious choice here for
I
Chris.
don't think Micah Parsons.
Yeah,
I don't think Micah Parsons makes any sense with his linebackers, who he has.
Yep, and you can slide Sewell inside right away, because Laken Tomlinson is a 75. He's whatever. Richburg's a 78. I think he slides Sewell in at right guard, because unless something has changed, what I'm looking at is Justin School as his right guard at a 68 overall. So I imagine you can just slide Sewell to that right guard spot, and your offensive line becomes one of the best ones in the division instantly.
Yep. So at 6, we have the Rams taking Micah Parson. Corb and Pode both think Penei Sewell go here. I think Patrick Surtain goes here.
So I thought about Surtain as well, but with Ramsey already with the Rams, he doesn't necessarily need corner. I chose Parsons for Corb because I thought his linebackers were. I didn't like his linebacker depth that much, and then Sewell's an obvious one. I'll say this, if Sewell is there at 6, J. Corb should definitely take him because his line is awful.
100%. So then we get to my first pick of the first round, and we have 3 people saying I take Rondell Moore out of
including me.
Yeah, including me, 100%.
And I like to remind people, Kyle runs the Dolphins. So.
And Patrick, and I'm not trying to blow smoke. Rondell Moore will be the pick. If Jamar Chase is not on the board, I need wide receivers. I need corners too, but I have a 90 overall corner. My best wide receiver is a 5'7", 75 overall. So I can't go into the season and having Mike Gesicki and Matt Breida lead me in receiving again. So, and Pode thinks I'll take Patrick Surtain, which is definitely a possibility. Like if for some reason those 2 wide receivers are off the board, there's a chance that I would, go with that, but doubtful.
I really tried to see a way that Surtain got on your team because I love that combo with
Of him and Jones. Yeah,
yeah.
it would be nice. But no.
Yeah,
the Raiders.
Surtain's the more obvious pick for the Raiders here.
Yeah.
To pair depending on how you feel about, Trayvon.
This is where
Trayvon
I have
Mullen. Trayvon Mullen.
This is where I
David
actually
Arnett.
have Brock Purdy going is number 8 to them.
Really?
I think they need a quarterback so bad, and their team will not be good with Derek Carr and Marcus Mariota as their 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah. That's fair.
It's the only way Purdy gets into the top 10 is if the Raiders reach for him. I know it's probably not going to happen. It probably will be Patrick Surtain, or as Pode has it, Sean Wade, one of those guys,
Yeah, and I guess with Wade, I like Wade a lot, but I don't know. I think it's pretty unanimous that Surtain's the better.
Oh yeah,
the
for
better
sure.
corner. But I guess that's because he had Surtain going earlier, so that's why he had Wade. So that makes sense.
Yep.
We're almost all in agreement here at 9 with the Colts with
Gregory Rosso.
Yeah.
Rioso. But then we have Pode, who thinks Rondell Moore will go here, which, again, if Jamar Chase was to fall, that's a possibility. I just don't have Rondell Moore on the board for me.
Yeah. So I had my Purdy pick with the Giants here at 10. I was going through the Giants roster, trying to see, what they really need. And Josh Love is currently the only quarterback on the roster. So
not Jordan Love, Josh.
No. Josh Love.
Yeah, I was just saying it for everybody, because somebody might have been like, "Oh, Jordan Love, pretty good." No.
This is Josh Love, who has he's a blank face. He is not unlocked yet in Madden. So to me, Brock Purdy's the pick here for the Giants, and I get the Marvin Wilson, but to me, it's gotta be Purdy. Gotta be.
Yes. So Corb and I have the Giants going Marvin Wilson. And Pode has Gregory Rioso going, which if for some reason Purdy wasn't there, I guess I could see, and Gregory fell, like that's a possibility. You run the Saints, so I'll go with the.
Yeah, so
Corb and I think that you'll take Travis Etienne. You and Pode think you'll take Marvin Wilson, and again, you run the Saints. So.
Right. So I'll also say this: outside of the third pick, I kind of have an idea on who I want to take. Like I have tiers of guys, but the rest of my picks are not set in stone.
Right.
So I I actually had Travis Etienne here. I have myself taking him at 13. Because I really like Marvin Wilson here. I think he's probably the best pass rushing D tackle in this class, which is, something in the past. And we've seen this year, in years, I feel like in Madden years past, you could get by with 2 pass rushers, but I think in this one, you kind of need more than that, especially in the middle. So I think getting a guy like Marvin Wilson at 11 would be smart for me, considering I have, David Bowen, who's my legacy player. I definitely need another guy to pair with him, now, especially now that Sheldon Rankins is gone.
For sure. So, and then it's me again with the number 12 pick, and you and Corb have different opinions than Pode and I. You have me taking Sean Wade. Corb has me taking Creed Humphreys. Pode and I have myself taking Wyatt Davis from Ohio State. Sean Wade's definitely a possibility there.
Yeah, I looked
my
at
offensive line is just so bad.
Yep. It was actually between Wyatt and Wade for me for you here. I chose Wade mostly because your defense was just so bad last year that
Yeah, for sure.
like Sean Wade would be like CB1 on quite a few teams, including my own.
Well,
So
we'll get to that in a second
yeah,
when I get to make the pick for you and you don't get to make the pick.
there you go.
So then you're back up at 13, because this is the Kyle and Sam show in the draft also, and
Yes.
you have yourself taking Travis Etienne. Pode has you taking Kyle Pitts, tight end from Florida, and then Corb and I have you taking Sean Wade. Again, you run your team, so the pick, you need a running back for sure.
Right. So I kind of, ETN is, probably what a lot of people would pick at 11. I'm just kind of looking at, unless there's a trade, like nobody, like we go through the top 10, like Lions aren't taking a QB at 1, neither is Broncos, neither am I at 3, Bears at 4. I can't see Chris taking 1. Corb doesn't need 1. You don't need 1. Raiders has Josh Jacobs. Colts has Jonathan Taylor. Giants has Barkley. I feel like ETN, unless there's a trade, which we've had like 50 trades today, there definitely could be another one. I just feel like
You can wait.
Yeah,
for
I
ETN.
can wait on ETN, and there's actually a couple of backs that I like. Maybe not more than ETN, but like I don't see that much of a difference.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's a lot. I mean, there are, just looking at it right now, there are probably 9 backs that can be starters for
Absolutely
teams. So nobody needs to panic. It's not a auto-generated draft. Nobody needs to panic and reach for a running back. There are guys in the 3rd and 4th round who you can get who can be starters. So
yep, absolutely.
And then you're back up, and you and I have the same pick with Devontae Smith out of Alabama.
Yeah. So this one, like, I'm definitely going to need a receiver or two at some point. Michael Thomas is gone. Emmanuel Sanders is really old. Traquan Smith is whatever. But I'm just gonna definitely need a guy for whoever my future QB is, and Devontae Smith is very much a burner, and I think that's super valuable in Madden. I will say this: if we as a league let Micah Parsons fall to me at 14, I will take Micah Parsons at 14. But if we as a league let that happen, we should just not.
I have him fallen to 15. So,
which I don't. I don't know. I mean, I don't get it. Like, I think Micah Parsons is awesome.
I think Micah Parsons is a top 4 player in this draft. I just think that, like, there's no way that I have 2 picks in the top 12, so there's no way that I need to take a middle linebacker with Jerome Baker. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no,
and Pode has you taking Hamsha Nasr-Dean from the strong safety from Florida State, which I don't know who that is. So he does not make my list for anyone.
I have him going a couple of picks later, just not for me.
Oh, so do I. Actually, I lied. I lied. So then we have the Eagles at 15. You have them taking outside linebacker Quincy Roach from Miami. I have them taking Micah Parsons. Pode has them taking Dylan Moses, and Corb has them taking Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Which, if Devontae Smith is here, I think that's the pick for them.
I would agree. The thing about the Eagles is that, they have kind of a few holes everywhere.
Yeah,
Like they
for
should
sure.
really just go best player available, whoever that
Yeah,
is.
whoever it is. Um, so this is where you, Corb, and I have Hamsha coming off the board, and Pode has Javon Holland going off the board to the Bills. Which this is a position I could see the Bills targeting. They're old at the safety position, so this is definitely a spot where they could end up taking one of these guys.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
then the Jags at 17. This is one where almost all of us disagree. You and Corb have Blair taking Hubbard. I have him taking Wyatt, and Pode has him taking tight end Pat, however you pronounce his name, Freethnoth. Um, I
Fearmouth. Yeah,
yeah,
the Jags are a mystery because we know they want a quarterback. But unless you're going to reach, and I don't have any, well, I guess I have a few quarterbacks scouted. Unless you're going to reach for a Jamie Newman, there's nobody that is worthy of being in the first round that's left.
no, and I I looked at Hubbard, and the only reason I didn't put him there is kind of what we mentioned earlier, that this running back class is so deep. If I was Blair, I would wait on running back and take, Wyatt, because Blair's offensive line is not that good.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I would just take him. Take a good guard, you know, get running back in the second or third.
And so this is the Chargers at 18. You, Pode, and I all agree it's Creed Humphrey. This is where Corb has Wyatt Davis coming off the board. And if Wyatt Davis falls to 18, something's wrong. He's the best offensive lineman not named Penny Sewell in the draft.
Yep.
So
And I think we all agree that Chargers just need offensive line.
For sure. They're definitely, that's where they're weak. They've got the quarterback of the future in Justin Herbert. They've got decent wide receivers with the guys they've got. He's got OJ Howard. Their defense is stout. Yeah, he's got to go offensive line here. It's not a sexy pick, but it's what he's got to do. So to the Bengals, this is where you have Quincy Roach coming off, right?
I have Moses.
No. Oh, okay. No, you have Moses. And everybody else has Quincy Roach coming off because we already had Moses go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a linebacker. This is where he's weak. I mean, Logan Wilson got some dev, and but they're young and they're not the best linebacking core in the league. They're probably one of the worst.
Yep.
So
the pick does need to be linebacker. I think, honestly, just a personal opinion. I like Quincy just a little bit more than Dylan Moses, but it's not one of those things where if he does take Quincy here, it's over Moses. It's not a terrible pick. It's just I like Quincy a little more than Moses.
And start with the he thinks that they are gonna go with left tackle Alex Leatherwood. Where's Alex Leatherwood? I didn't see him anywhere. Do I have him on a draft board? Nope. I don't know where Alex Leatherwood is.
He might be right tackle.
I'm on right tackle.
Let's see.
No,
tackle.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't see him.
He's left tackle.
Did I overlooked him? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Alex Leatherwood. I could see the Rams do need offensive line, but our Titans need offensive line, but they also need a safety to be back there with Kevin Byard. So I think Javon Holland is the pick here.
Yep, I agree. I agree. I think the Titans do need offensive line, but I think it's good enough.
Right.
And I think they do need some safety help.
So here's another one where we all pretty much have different people. You have the Rams going right guard, Nolan Laufenberg from Air Force. which I think makes sense. If you want to give why you think that the Rams go there, but I agree.
Yeah, I'll just do it real quick. Just because this is if it goes and Chris doesn't take Sewell and the Rams take Parsons or whoever, I still think the Rams need an offensive lineman. And to be honest, even if I was J Corb and I got Sewell at 6, I would probably still take Nolan just to kind of
Yeah.
shore up the offensive line.
So I have them going Kyle Pitts because I didn't know they were going to sign
Yep.
Greg Olsen.
Yeah.
So and Corb has them going Dylan Moses, which I could see they could use some more help in the middle of that defense. And Pode has them going Rashad Bateman out or no, wait, no, that's the next one. What does he have? He has Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which if Devontae was there, this would be a really good pick. This is a really good receiver. He's an early first round grade. So
pick. Yep.
Back up to the Saints, and you have yourself going Rashad Bateman. You and Pode have Rashad Bateman going here.
Yeah, I'll probably end up taking either 2 receivers or a receiver and a tight end at some point in the first round, just because I'm going to need the help, and there's going to be a lot of catches to go around next season, and I want it to mostly be rookies. And I really like Rashad Bateman here. Again, if I also like Dylan Moses at 22. Pretty much my entire linebacking core is gone from last season. So
right, yeah.
Dylan Moses here is also not a bad guess either.
Yes. So Corb and I just flipped these picks. He has you going Kyle Pitts here, which you said you might take a tight end here, and I have Dylan Moses going. Dylan Moses, I think, is probably one of the 4 or 5 best off-ball linebackers in this draft.
Yep, for sure.
But so then we've got new user Bucks. I think the Bucks are Larry taking over for Twinkie.
Yep,
if I remember correctly. And so this is where Pode has Travis Etienne going off, which I don't think Travis Etienne lasts this long. I would imagine if he starts falling, somebody will react and jump up and take him.
Yep, and including myself. So
right, and this is where Corb and I have Nolan Laufenberg going because right guard is a position of need, and you have outside linebacker. Which one? You have?
Yeah, I have Twyman going here.
Twyman. I don't see him on my thing, but he's a linebacker.
If I remember correctly, I believe he's one of those that plays in
okay.
the actual draft.
Oh yeah.
But,
he's
someone's going to use
Pittsburgh.
him as an outside linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get back to the Saints, and this is where you have yourself going, Kyle Pitts. So we know you like Kyle Pitts
for sure.
Corb and I have you taking a free safety because you did trade away Marcus Williams. We have you going Andre Cisco from Syracuse, who's graded out as a second-round player, but the draft grades on these guys are kind of funky with the custom draft.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, so I think you definitely need a tight end or, like you said, another receiver. I mean, if you ended up with 2 tight ends or 2 receivers and a tight end out of this first round, your offense is completely, and Trey Lance, your offense is completely rebuilt for the future. So you couldn't. That's not a bad draft if that's how it falls for you.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. And then the other tight end. This is where I have
Pat.
Yeah, this is where I have
Freiermuth,
Pat going. As
yeah,
much
this is
everybody.
where you Corb and I have, and then Pode has Trey Smith going here, that's a fine pick. The Falcons could definitely use some offensive line help. Their offensive line was pretty atrocious last season.
Yeah, and then the Vikings, me, you, and J Corb all have Alex Leatherwood going here, and Pode has shoot, what's this guy's name? I completely lost him.
I think it's let me pull up Pode's. I think it's Andre Sisco is who he has going there, but
yeah, sorry, it was a little hard to copy his stuff.
No, for sure.
When I tried to enhance the image, it just got all blurry. So, sorry,
yeah, he is Andre Sisco.
Okay.
He is Andre Sisco going here, to Minnesota, and then we get to Cleveland, who now owns, this pick in the 30th, and Pode has them going, the Pitt right and Jalen Twyman, which I could see for sure. I have to pull back up the other one. Sorry.
Those are good. I have him taking Jalen Waddle here as kind of an OBJ replacement. I think it's good value. I think Waddle is one of the best receivers in this draft, and to get him at 130, I feel like that's going to be a really good value play.
And so next up is the Ravens, and you have them taking Justin Ross, from Clemson, and everyone, Corb and I have him taking Rashad Bateman. This is where we have him falling to.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. For 27, I had the Browns taking Xavier Thomas. I was looking at 130. Might be.
Yeah. So, and Anthony Schwartz is who Pode has them taking.
Yep.
I don't know who that is, though.
Well, let me tell you about Anthony Schwartz. He plays at Auburn, my friend.
Okay.
And he's also on the he was also on Team USA at the Olympics the last time. But it was like what was it called? Like not the Junior Olympics, like the Olympics for like high schoolers or whatever. He was on the track
threat. Okay.
Yeah, he was on the track and field team. He's fast.
Okay. All right. So, you Corb and I all agree that the Chiefs definitely need corner help, because we have them taking Paulson Adebo here, from Stanford.
Yeah, and after a couple of cocktails, you could probably convince me that Paulso is just as good as Shaun Wade. So to get a guy that I think we all have at least in like the top 10, to get him at, almost the end of the first round is really, really good. Especially for a team that needs corners.
Yeah, and Pode has them going Chaz Surratt. So still on the defensive side of the ball, just, a linebacker, which is, it's definitely something that could happen. So this is your Jalen Waddle pick for the Browns, and this is where I have Pode and I both have Jamie Newman coming off the board. Unless he really wants to ride with Daniel Jones, this would be the draft where I would reach for a quarterback. I
would agree.
If he thinks that he's going to be bad enough to pick in the top, let's say 2 next season, because the quarterbacks are going to go early. They always do. And this is where Pode has Paulson Adebo going. But you gave a pretty good reason why they would take Jalen Waddle. It gives them their OBJ replacement. So.
Yeah, and speaking of Waddle, you and Corb have Waddle going next to Cody, which I get. The only reason I have them taking Hutchinson, the outside linebacker here, just because he got Will Fuller and Sammy Watkins. So I feel like Watkins, Fuller, and Harry is a pretty good trio. I mean,
Yeah,
Cody's
yeah,
going to be a run first team anyway, so I don't think
for sure.
he really needs four like just good receivers. So I feel like he goes defense here.
Yeah, and Pode has them taking Seth Williams, another Auburn guy.
For sure. Yep. Very familiar with Seth
Um,
Williams.
so I could see that happening. So this is where 32 is my last pick. This is where I have Justin Ross coming off. Just because for me, Justin Ross is the best receiver I could get to complement Rondell Moore because he is 6'4" to Rondell Moore's 5'9".
Also, the fact that Justin Ross has a second round grade is ludicrous.
Right, and so, but you have me going Walker Little, right tackle from Stanford. Pode has me going Tyler Shelvin from LSU, and Corb has me going some outside linebacker I don't know.
Walker here was my pick for you just because I thought he was the best offensive lineman available that you could get, and I know that you just need help at that position.
For sure.
So I just, especially with taking more early, that's why I kind of chose. I mean, I could definitely see you getting another receiver here. Like, if you got Justin Ross at 32, Justin Ross at 32, that's a great pick.
Yeah, and so then just to look at a few of the guys who nobody had going in the first round. Nobody had Najee going in the first round. Nobody had Master T going in the first round. Nobody had Chris Olave from Ohio State. None of us. He's got a first round grade. There's a lot. Obviously this draft is very, very deep, so nobody needs to panic if their guy gets taken. It's not gonna be Caleb Farley. Nobody had him going in the first round. He's definitely a first round pick for me. He's a guy, if say Justin Ross was gone, I would definitely take a Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech,
right,
for myself. But this draft is so deep that a team like, say, the Browns could theoretically turn it around in one season if they hit on both their picks.
Yeah, so. I think the Browns are like an interesting case study with this next year, especially if they, if they stick with Daniel Jones, which I think that's what they're going to do. I would be surprised if they took QB. But I could also see some of these QBs, I could see there only being 3 QBs in the first round, and then I guess the other two, Jamie Newman and Brock Purdy, outside of them, there's really, I don't know, unless you, I kind of like De'Aaron King out of Miami, unless you want to take a guy like that, or a Sam Ellinger out of Texas, or a Kellen Mond, or somebody like that.
I don't want to give away, but I hope that Sam Ellinger falls into a mid round so I can just scoop him up to be my backup for Tua. But he's good enough that he's not very highly rated, but he's a guy who, in the right system, could end up being a very, very good quarterback. A lot like we saw last year with guys like Von Clayton out of Carolina, who ended up X Factor just because he was in a good situation. But
right, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who they have undrafted grades in the quarterback, and they're not undrafted.
No,
they will get drafted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
yeah,
this
if this was a more normal draft, I probably would have had Najee and Hubbard going in the first round as well.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I was a little surprised that people had Chuba going over Harris here, because I like Harris a little more. But
I do as well. But I think Chuba Chuba's carrying's a little better, and it just, and his ball carrier vision, which is huge in slow sims, because if they don't have great ball carrier vision, they're just gonna run to holes that don't exist.
Right. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, this draft that gets started tomorrow, hopefully EA has their not being able to pick bug kind of fixed a little bit. I know that AGML found a workaround for it today, but
yeah, what was that workaround again?
You have to go in and propose a trade to someone, I think is what it was, and then you are able to pick. I only looked at it for a second. I don't pick in there for a while. Let me, because it was in. I'll just send a trade out to anyone. They don't have to accept it, and then you can pick. Is what it is.
Thanks, EA.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, Cody, Kevin, and Poe and I all came at a guy who worked for EA.
I know, I saw. Yeah, I saw.
You know, me with my personal Twitter going on there, and so here's all these fake GMs, and then there's just my name,
some dude,
picture of my kid, this baby's yelling at him. So, but yeah, so I think that's it for the mock draft, guys. Thanks to everybody who tuned in to it.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it right here, right now. Set a board.
Yep, please set a board.
More important than ever, because if you're not around and you don't have a board set, and you're gonna get screwed.
Yep,
like the draft is full of talent, but you don't want to end up with, because it might end up taking a guy you don't need. So set a board, please, please, please.
Yep, and the faster we get through this, the faster we can get to the next season. Yep. And we can all start playing again. The next time you'll hear season 2 preview podcasts where we kind of bounce around each
I think,
and give our predictions.
Yes. Yeah, we'll definitely go through and we'll give predictions for which teams make the playoffs from each division and wild card. So that'll probably be, I would guess, if the draft's Sunday, probably Monday.
Yeah,
would be my guess.
That sounds good.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Can't wait to get to the draft and get started with the new season with you guys. So
absolutely.
Everybody have a great night.
Yep, thanks for a great season 1. Congrats again to Will on winning the first Super Bowl.
Yep.
And please set a board.
Yeah.